If you think Louis Vuitton brought back the Y2K denim bags in 2026, you need this reality check. Because there is a big difference between true revival, modern reinterpretations, and completely new designs. Don't fall for it. A brand like Louis Vuitton brings back the denim aesthetic, your memory fills in the blanks, and suddenly it feels like the whole collection is worth it. Because Louis Vuitton knows exactly how to trigger nostalgia. But most of these bags are not really connected to the original Y2K denim bag. They are something else entirely, and we are going to prove it in this video. If you don't know the difference, you could easily spend over $3,000 on a new bag when a vintage one might give you the exact same look for much less. Welcome back to Why Buy? Let's make your next buy the right one. Because why buy it if it doesn't elevate your style or keep its value? Today we are breaking down the Louis Vuitton denim collection bag by bag using the why buy criteria: design, style, and value. Let's reality check the first bag. The baggy. Why is Louis Vuitton charging $3,650 for a bag they already sold 20 years ago? The reason the new Baggy PM is getting so much hype is because this bag was already one of the most recognizable Louis Vuitton denim bags from the original Y2K era. People already love this bag, so Louis Vuitton did not have to reinvent anything here. They just brought the nostalgia back. Look at the new Baggy PM. Then look at the vintage one. The slouchy shoulder shape? Same. The front pocket system? Same. The overall Y2K denim look? Same. Yes, there are updates. The zipper frame is a little different. The hardware is more angular. There's a tassel added onto the bag. And the denim looks cleaner than the older worn-in versions. But the actual bag, the way it looks, the way it functions, the way it fits into your lifestyle, that did not really change. It still works primarily as a shoulder bag. It still gives that casual Y2K denim energy. And it still works best for the same off-duty, streetwear, everyday kind of styling. So this is where the price gets hard to defend. Because if the vintage bag gives you almost the same design and the same functionality, why pay $3,650 for the new one? That's the reality check. Pass on the new baggy, buy the vintage. Now let's reality check the Pochette Valley, because Louis Vuitton wants you to think the Pochette Valley came from the original Y2K denim era. The soft pleats, the denim, the little shoulder bag shape, it all feels familiar on purpose. The closest comparison is the Pleaty, but that comparison does not really hold up once you break down the design. The Pleaty is a flat bag. The Pochette Valley is a zipper bag. The pleating is different. So no, this is not the Pleaty coming back. This is Louis Vuitton taking the denim aesthetic and applying it to a new design. Style-wise, this works if you like smaller shoulder bags with that relaxed under-the-arm look. It is more like a casual style piece than a functional everyday bag. Value-wise, This really comes down to whether you love this exact design, because if you do, then this is the bag you buy. But if it's really the crescent shoulder bag silhouette and the overall Y2K denim vibe you love, there are vintage options like the Pleaty on the resale market that can give you a very similar feel for less. Now let's reality check the Pochette Accessoires cargo. Because Louis Vuitton is taking one of the strongest visual codes from the Y2K denim era and using it to make this bag feel instantly familiar to you. And honestly, it works. But this is not a revival. The closest comparison is probably the vintage patchwork pouchy bag. But with this bag, Louis Vuitton took the modern pochette format and pushed it in a more cargo direction, using details pulled from older denim bags like the Neo Speedy and the Baggy. The front utility pockets are what give the bag its entire personality, because without them, this would just be another pochette. Style-wise, this is easily one of the most versatile little bags in the collection. It works as a clutch, it works crossbody, it even gives a little belt bag energy if you style it right. But value is where the bag gets really interesting. Because unlike a lot of the other bags in this collection, the closest vintage comparison is actually more expensive on the resale market. This is one of the rare cases where buying new could actually make more sense financially. If you love the design and the lifestyle flexibility, this might actually be one of the smartest buys in the collection. Now let's talk about the Speedy Soft 30. I get it. The name alone pulls you in because the second Louis Vuitton puts denim on a Speedy, it automatically triggers the whole Y2K archive conversation. But is that enough to spend $3,850 on a Speedy? Because the real question is whether you are buying something truly different or just another chapter in the Speedy story. And once you break down the design, the answer becomes pretty clear. This is still very much a Speedy. The real difference here is that the denim has been applied to the newer Speedy Soft format, which gives you a more relaxed structure, a softer silhouette, and a drapier look. Style-wise, this works if your lifestyle fits a larger, relaxed bag. Functionally, this bag does a lot. Arm carry, shoulder, crossbody, you can even wear it like an oversized clutch. Value-wise, this is where you really have to decide if the Speedy Soft format is worth paying a premium for in denim. Because if you just want a regular denim Speedy, the vintage market already gives you plenty of more affordable options. And honestly, if you are already willing to spend Speedy Soft money, the leather versions give you stronger overall value long-term than paying that same premium for denim. Pass and buy vintage if you just want a regular denim Speedy. Consider new only if you specifically want the Speedy Soft 30 in denim. Now let's talk about the sunset, because this is one of the clearest examples of Louis Vuitton taking a vintage denim bag and bringing it back under a different name. The second you see it, the mini Pleaty immediately comes to mind. And once you break down the design, it is easy to understand why. The compact crescent shape, the flat front. The biggest differences are details like the hardware and the strap. But overall, this is very close to the Pleaty. Style-wise, the overall vibe really has not changed. This still gives that casual Y2K shoulder bag energy that works best with relaxed styling, denim, off-duty looks, and softer feminine outfits. But where the sunset separates itself from the vintage mini Pleaty is functionality. The Pleaty was basically locked into one shoulder bag carry style unless you hacked the bag. But the Sunset gives you more flexibility straight out the dust bag. You can wear it on the shoulder, crossbody with the included extra strap, or carry it by hand, which makes it fit modern lifestyles a lot better than the vintage mini Pleaty. Value is where both the Sunset and Pleaty gets interesting. The Sunset is retailing at $3,100, which is not entry-level pricing for LV. The crazy part is that the mini Pleaty was much more affordable prior to the release of the Sunset. But now, resale prices have quietly crept up. I mean, you can find authenticated listings on platforms like Rebag and The RealReal coming in anywhere from around $2,500 to $2,855. That's not a coincidence. So now, the real question is, are you willing to spend close to the same amount for a bag that is 20 years old as a brand new one? Because honestly, at this price point, the gap is not wide enough to make this an obvious value decision anymore. If you just want the silhouette and don't need the modern upgrades, go for the mini Pleaty, but wait until the pre-loved market cools down. If you want the versatility, go for the Sunset. Now let's talk about the CarryAll Cargo PM, because this is one of those bags where Louis Vuitton is clearly taking a newer design and dressing it up in denim nostalgia. And let's be real, this bag probably caught your attention because the cargo pockets and the denim make it feel like it belongs in the same conversation as the Y2K denim archival bags. But the bag itself is absolutely part of Louis Vuitton's modern designs. So the real question is, do you actually love this CarryAll cargo design in denim? Because once we break down the design, you will see that this is not a vintage revival at all. Look, even the shape has that modern hybrid feel Louis Vuitton has been leaning into lately. A little bucket, a little east-west, and a little cargo influence all at once. That mix is what makes the bag interesting. The denim just pushes it further into that casual, everyday direction. Style-wise, this is where the bag actually makes a lot of sense. It has that relaxed energy that works well with casual outfits, errands, travel, and softer day-to-day styling. Functionally, it gives you more versatility than a lot of the original Y2K denim bags because you are not locked into one shoulder carry option. The crossbody strap makes it much easier for modern lifestyles. In terms of value, is the denim CarryAll Cargo PM really worth the premium? Well, the bag is retailing for around $3,600, while the leather version is only about $100 more. So that changes the whole conversation because now the question is, do you really want to pay leather pricing for denim? At the end of the day, if you love this exact design in denim and it fits your lifestyle, it may be worth it to you. Now let's talk about the Nano Speedy, because this might be one of the smaller bags in the collection, but it actually has more going on than you might think. This bag is attracting attention because it takes that vintage denim Speedy energy and shrinks it down. But once you really break down the design, this is not just Louis Vuitton shrinking a Speedy and calling it a day. What they really did here was take the vibe of the vintage Neo Speedy, especially that front cargo pocket look, and apply it to the newer Nano Speedy format. But the smaller scale changes the entire experience. Style is where this small bag makes big moves. Yes, it is small, but it fits the way people actually carry bags now. Functionally, this bag was designed to be worn crossbody, which immediately makes it more practical for errands, travel days, concerts, quick outings, or just carrying your essentials without needing a larger bag. It fits your phone, cards, keys, and small extras, which makes it usable in real life instead of just feeling like a novelty mini. When we look at value, this is where the bag gets more interesting. Yes, the price is high for a Nano, coming in around $2,700. But Louis Vuitton has already released denim Nano Speedies before, and those bags are currently listed on the resale market above retail. That gives this bag a much stronger value conversation than most novelty mini bags. This is absolutely worth considering if you love the Nano in denim, the size, and the functionality. Now let's talk about the all-in BB, because this is one of those bags where the denim is doing a lot of the emotional heavy lifting. And let's be honest, if this exact same bag showed up in a regular leather or canvas release, a lot of you probably would not be paying this much attention to it. Because, oh yes, it's already available in those materials. So at the end of the day, this is nothing more than a modern Louis Vuitton bucket bag in denim. And once you really break down the design, what makes this bag interesting is how clean and versatile the silhouette feels. Louis Vuitton is offering you two different visual experiences depending on how you wear it. One side feels much more understated and low-key, while the other side, with the luggage tag detail, gives the bag more personality and branding presence. Style-wise, the smaller bucket shape feels more wearable day to day, and the denim gives it a softer, more casual energy. Functionally, it works well if you like open, easy access bags and prefer a softer carry style. It also gives you multiple styling options between shoulder carry, crossbody wear, and the shorter top handle feel, depending on how you adjust it. When we look at value, this is much more of a personal style and lifestyle purchase than a true value play. The denim version is retailing around $3,000, while some of the canvas versions are sitting much closer to Louis Vuitton's entry-level pricing around the mid-$2,000 range. So the real question becomes whether you specifically want this design in denim. Because if you simply love the all-in BB silhouette itself, there are more affordable ways to get into the bag without paying the denim premium. So at this point, you can probably already see the pattern. Very few of these bags are genuinely connected to the original Y2K archive story, which means the real decision comes down to this. If the bag is a true revival, do you actually want the new version badly enough to ignore the vintage market? And if it is a modern design, do you really love this specific bag in denim enough to pay leather prices for it? Because those are two completely different buying decisions. But in part 2, we're getting into the bags that move even further away from true archive revival and deeper into modern designs dressed in Y2K emotion. And that is where the buying decisions get even trickier. So if you want the reality check to see which bags are actually worth considering before spending your money, subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss part 2. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these bags give you the true vintage revival vibe? Is it enough for you to buy new, or do you prefer to buy vintage instead? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in part 2.